big game on Sunday was a matchup between NFC South rivals, the New Orleans Saints, and Tampa Bay in New Orleans, and the Saints pulled this one out 36-27.
Yeah, so the Saints are now 3-1 against the Tampa Bay Tom Brady Buccaneers. That one being a playoff loss, though, so you can weigh that how you wish. But this is the game that we're talking about now, and they won this one 36-27, and a pretty exciting win. Now let's look at the stats. Jameis Winston comes out, goes 6 for 10 for 56 yards, throws himself a touchdown, no interceptions, and he rushes for 40 yards. But he ends up getting hurt, and he is out for the season, which really sucks. I've been enjoying him this season. I was hoping for him to succeed, and I hope to see him come back healthy and do good next year. But his replacement, Trevor Siemian, comes in and does what he needs to do: 16 for 29 with 159 yards, and he himself also goes for a touchdown and no interception. Alvin Kamara rushes for 61 yards and a touchdown, and then his buddy Mark Ingram comes back and his New Orleans return and gets 22 rushing yards and 25 receiving yards, so a decent return for him, obviously under Trevor Siemian now and Jameis Winston instead of Drew Brees. Kevin White leads all New Orleans receivers with 38 yards, and Traquan Smith gets 33 yards and a touchdown. Alex Armour gets 1 yard and a touchdown. David Onyemata recovers a Tom Brady fumble, and Trevor recovers one of his own. PJ Williams gets a crucial pick six off of Tom Brady at the end of the game, and CJ Gardner-Johnson picked him off earlier on. Now for the Bucs, Tom Brady goes 28 for 40, 375 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Giovanni Bernard leads all rushers with 30 rushing yards and only just 2 carries for that. Chris Godwin gets 140 yards and a touchdown, and then we have an interesting set of touchdown holders here with low receptions, as Cyril Grayson gets 50 yards and a touchdown on just 1 reception. Mike Evans gets 48 yards and a touchdown on just 2 receptions. And then Giovanni Bernard had only 1 reception, 7 yards, but a touchdown as well. And of course, as we talked about, Tom Brady, crucial in this game, lost a fumble and threw 2 picks, which I believe is definitely the game changer here. Tampa could have had this game, and even with the first pick and the fumble, they still could have came back and taken that game. They were very close to doing so. But that pick 6 at the end of the game, that seals the deal for the Saints. They come out with the win, and Tom Brady's turnovers throw it away for Tampa Bay.
And so coming into the game, I absolutely did not pick the Saints. We didn't do picks last week, but we both probably would have picked the Buccaneers. And the Saints, they were able to win. With Jameis, I think they would have had more of a chance, right? But the fact that Jameis gets injured and then you have Trevor Siemian come in and they still find a way to win, I have to give Sean Payton and that coaching staff and the entire team credit for that one, because you're going up against the GOAT Tom Brady, of course, and a very good Buccaneers team, even without Rob Gronkowski not playing the entire game, of course, and Antonio Brown is out as well. Very good Bucs team, and the Saints are able to pull out a victory. Now, for Tom Brady, he is a huge reason why they were in the game and a huge reason why they lost the game. Obviously, the fumble, whenever a QB gets sacked, it's not like they're doing something wrong. I mean, you just can't see the guy coming behind you as you're throwing it. It just comes out. But he did have the fumble. He wasn't able to recover, and they weren't able to recover. That's the opportunity for the Saints to score. And then, of course, the 2 picks, the costlier one being that pick 6 at the end. I couldn't really tell if Chris Godwin was supposed to come more across the face of the safety or not, but either way, it was an interception. Defender played it perfectly, took it all the way back for a pick 6. So despite Tom Brady throwing for almost 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, he definitely played a big hand in them losing today with the turnovers. When you have a backup quarterback come in like Trevor Siemian, you just want him to not make any mistakes, and he pretty much didn't. He wasn't amazing, of course, but he didn't make any mistakes. But Tom Brady did. So that last drive for the Saints, they have the ball, about 6 minutes left. They're down 1. You pretty much have to drive the length of the field, obviously from the 25. And at the very least, they want to get a field goal, but they probably want to get a touchdown knowing who's on the other side, of course. They move the ball pretty well down the field. until you get in the red zone and in a goal to go situation and you have the 2 minute warning. And for whatever reason, they just have a brain malfunction at that point. First down, you have an incompletion. And it's like, okay, you just gave them a timeout essentially because they still had 2 timeouts left at that point. So you just gave them a timeout by passing and having it incomplete. And then you pass again and it's incomplete again. So now you just essentially gave them another timeout. You've only had a few seconds come off the clock at this point. And it's like, all right, now you've had two straight incompletions. You stopped the clock twice. You haven't moved the ball, obviously. And then the next play doesn't really get much of anything. And then Tampa Bay actually calls its second timeout. So now you're pretty much giving them the ball back with 1:40. After you kick that field goal, you're only up 2 points. You got the goal on the other side. And I'm thinking, man, New Orleans screwed this up all the way. You had that great drive getting down, and then you just have a malfunction in the red zone in a goal to go situation, and you just screw that up. And I'm thinking, nah, they're probably going to lose this one. Tom Brady's going to go down the field with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. It'll be over. And then Tom Brady throws a pick six, and that's the game. I think everybody was surprised at that, but as soon as I saw the ball come out and I see Chris Godwin running and the safety's right there, I'm like, yeah, that's going to be a pick. I did not expect them to take it all the way back, though. I feel like somebody could have caught him, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say these guys aren't trying anything like that, obviously, because if they stopped him, they could have gotten the ball back eventually, but with very little time left. But either way, once they got that pick six, that was the dagger in them. So again, you have to give a lot of props to the Saints. I didn't put a whole lot of stock into that first week against the Packers. I still really don't. I think if they played again, it'll be a lot different story. Even if Jameis was back in, but I have to give credit to the Saints for this big win.
Yeah, I saw something earlier today actually, and I talked about Sean Payton being the best backup quarterback coach of all time, and he he sure makes a good case for it. I mean, he's had Teddy Bridgewater come in, and he went undefeated with that. He had Taysom Hill come in last year, and I think they also went undefeated. And now Trevor Simeon comes in against the GOAT, and he wins. So props to Sean Payton there. As far as Sean Payton goes, I'm not sure what he was doing on the last drive. You're playing against Tom Brady. You're playing against the man who sent you home in the playoffs as well, and you had arguably a better team then. And you do that foolery at the end to give them a minute and 40 seconds left. And I'm watching the game, and I'm seeing this is just hilarious because I look at Instagram and I see all these posts of like the GOAT has a minute and 41 left, and I'm thinking, yeah, it's gonna be like the Aaron Rodgers meme again. Nope, he throws a pick six, and I'm just I mean could have never expected that. You don't expect Tom Brady to do that kind of thing. Now it is the regular season, right? Talked about this earlier. The Saints are now 3-1 against the Tom Brady Buccaneers. So, but they need to get one where when it counts. That one loss they have is in the playoffs. So we'll see how that goes if they do end up matching up somehow in the playoffs. Not likely at the moment, but it could happen some way somehow. But yeah, this was a fun game. Probably more exciting than it should have been, especially with Jameis Winston going down. And you don't expect this kind of performance from the Bucs. I don't think we'll get another one like that. 3 turnovers directly from Tom Brady is just incredible, right? Because he had that fumble and nobody else fumbled. He had those 2 picks, and you can say what you want, like, oh, the receiver didn't do this. Tom Brady threw the pick. He made the decision to throw the ball, and whatever happened. So the pick goes on him, and ultimately he's responsible for it, even if it is something stupid like some of the Patrick Mahomes picks where he tips it off the receiver's hand. It might not be fully his fault, but it is his interception. So yeah, interesting game here. Don't think we'll see another 3 turnover game for Tom Brady this season. And this is probably going to be the low point, and even at a low point, they still put up 27 points. So impressive game.